The quiet way out. Her phone buzzed twice at 7:42 p.m. She glanced down, smiled too quickly. It's just Mark. We're finalizing tomorrow's pitch over dinner. Beige coat. The perfume from when we first met. Door shut before I could answer. I watched the untouched wine sweat on the table until the glass went dry. 3 weeks earlier, her calendar had synced to my tablet by accident. 2 client dinners, 1 conference prep, all at the same downtown spot, Bistro Morrow. Same name every time, Mark. The married colleague she swore was harmless. I showered, shaved, and put on the dark jacket she said made me look too serious. Serious was the point. Bistro Morrow. At 8:30, I walked in. Not to lurk, but to meet Lydia, Mark's wife. She'd messaged weeks ago. You might want to see this. Attached, a photo of my wife and her husband, hands laced in a hotel lobby. Her tone had been dry, used up. Not angry, done. Lydia was already seated, elegant and steady, a glass of red balanced between 2 fingers. You're right on time, she said. We faced the entrance. When my wife walked in laughing beside Mark, the sound hit harder than I expected. She looked alive, like I'd been the gravity she'd been trying to escape. Our waiter, Lydia's cousin, dropped 2 chilled glasses at our table loud enough for the door to hear. My wife stopped mid-step when she saw me. Mark went pale. You can't be serious, she said. I raised my glass. Neither were you at dinner. Silence swept the room. No shouting, no scene, just the kind of quiet that hums. Well, Lydia murmured, eyes bright. Introductions complete. My wife tried to recover, shifting into performance mode. You're humiliating yourself, she hissed, but her voice shook. You've lied for months, I said, calm as a ledger. Dinners, hotel, excuses. You could have told the truth. You chose to treat me like a fool, she started. It isn't what you... Explain it to his wife, I said, nodding to Lydia. That cracked it. Lydia set her glass down with a soft click that sounded like a gavel. You said you were at a client meeting, she told Mark. The locks are changed. Your things are gone. Congratulations. You're free for your next project. My wife's eyes searched the room for an exit that wasn't a door. Please, she whispered to me. Somewhere private? We're finally being honest, I said. Right here. I stood, placed my glass down. Keep the wine. You'll need it for the press release. To Lydia. Thank you. It's been enlightening, she said. I left without looking back. Outside, the air felt clean for the first time in months. Halfway home, the messages came. Don't leave. It was a mistake. I love you. I let the phone buzz itself to sleep. At home, I packed a small bag. In the nightstand, the anniversary bracelet she once promised never to remove. I set it on her pillow with a note. Keep the ring. You earned it. On the highway, a text from an unknown number. You handled that better than I did. Coffee sometime? Lydia. I smiled for the first time in weeks. Not at revenge, but recognition. The office door morning. 3 sharp knocks on the glass. She slipped in as a client exited, mascara smudged, beige coat, the bracelet clutched in her fist. We need to talk, she said, voice frayed. I gestured to the chair. She sat, knuckles white. I found this on the pillow. Why would you leave? Why would you do that? You don't get to ask why, I said. You knew when you called him your colleague. It wasn't serious, she whispered. It just happened. Hotel rooms and lies don't happen. We build them. He said his marriage was over, she blurted. I wanted to feel wanted again. That's the knife, I said softly. You wanted to feel wanted, so you cut the one person who actually wanted you. Tears. Real ones. Too late. If you walk away now, you'll regret it, she tried. I already regret staying this long. She slammed the bracelet on the desk and left. The door thudded like a period. A message pinged, still owe you that coffee. Lydia, I went. The other side, we sat by the river. Daylight made Lydia look both exhausted and lighter. You look like someone who finally stopped pretending, she said. And you look like someone who's been through the same storm. 2 surviving hurricanes, she said, lifting her cup. She'd filed that morning. Mark had left his office key on the porch like a delivery. Do you feel better? I asked. Not better, she said. Just done. There's peace in that. I realized I wasn't angry anymore. The sting remained. The static was gone. You're not planning some big revenge, are you? She asked. Revenge is loud, I said. I prefer quiet. Midnight confession. That night, tires rolled into my drive. 3 slow knocks. She stood on the porch, clutching a manila folder. Inside is everything you didn't know about last night, she said. I left the door open and sat. She followed, heels clicking like a metronome. Mark told me you were cheating first, she said. He said he'd seen messages. I believed him. That's why I kept going. I opened the folder. Screenshots, expense reports, emails. A script. He's cheating too. You deserve better. It was engineered. I wasn't just being replaced. I was being framed. You think that makes it better? I asked. No, she whispered. Just less senseless. Her phone vibrated. A new message from Mark. We're finished. My wife knows. You were a distraction. She stared at it like it might rewrite the past. Please, she said. Therapy. I'll quit. Anything. You can't fix what died months ago, I said. You just didn't notice it was gone. I can't lose you, she said. You were never afraid of losing me, I replied. You were afraid of losing control of me. Past tense landed. She flinched. You can't mean that. I slid the folder onto the patio table and opened the door. Wind scattered a few pages across the yard. She chased them, hair falling into her face, then returned with crumpled paper and shaking hands. I'll prove I can change. I gave you a chance every time I believed another lie. She grabbed my sleeve. You loved me once. I did, I said. That's what makes this goodbye. I stepped outside. She stood framed by the porch light. Where will you go? Anywhere that doesn't smell like lies. You'll regret this. No, I said. You will. Headlights swept across the driveway. Lydia rolled down her window. You might want to see this. The setup. In her car, Lydia handed me a second envelope. This wasn't just an affair, she said. It was a setup, hotel invoices under my name, forged signature, private dining charge to my department, screenshots from Mark's cloud account, pulled by the same IT permissions Lydia had created. They wanted you out before promotions, she said. She kept you close until he didn't need her. I breathed in, let the anger pass through me like weather. What am I going to do? I repeated her question. Nothing. Not yet. Calm is terrifying, she said, almost smiling. The boardroom. At 9 a.m., the board called me in. The CEO folded his hands. We've received reports of expense misuse under your supervision. Mark leaned forward, polished and practiced. I helped review those personally, he said, aiming concern at me like a weapon. I slid Lydia's envelope across the table. You should see the whole picture. The CEO read. His face changed color. Mark, why is your account listed as approver on these? That's a mistake, Mark stammered. Someone forged? Cloud backups came from your home IP, I said. Logs will confirm. Effective immediately, the CEO said, voice flat. You're suspended pending investigation. Security escorted him out. The door shut like a vault. On my desk sat a handwritten note in her tidy script. I'm sorry. I folded it, put it in a drawer, not as forgiveness, but as record. After that evening, I met Lydia by the river again. How'd it go? She asked, handing me coffee. He's out, I said. They'll never trust him again. And her? She'll live with it. That's enough. You're too calm for someone who just burned down half his life. It's the only way to rebuild. We watched the water. Done doesn't mean empty, I said finally. It means free. When I got home, half the closet was bare. On the bed, a note. You were always the calm I couldn't match. I placed it next to the bracelet and opened the windows. Rain started. The house breathed. A final text lit my phone. No more storms. Just peace. Lydia, I raised my glass to the sound of rain. To peace, I said, and to the silence that saved me.